Welcome, beloved Sangha, to our Jewel Ornament of Liberation commentary series with our Venerable Khenpo Tenzin. We'll begin today's episode in the Yellow Garchen Buddhist Institute prayer book on page 4 and 5 with opening prayers. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Shaji jarbu jodung zan zar dorjen janjen te lo naro tang marba mala juje gambo ba pamo drba jawan rogung ba ka jo lama nam je da jon je da nan zera tam je do lama lobo la ye jizo zong lobzong yon den jam zu nga la ba den de don jen de be gele zor da ge lo ju zon ro ba sin ja lab do zor ju lam do ro ba sin ja lab do lam ro wa ze ba sin ja lab do zor ro ba yi shi zon ja ba sin ja lab do zor gang ge den jen de wa jo Gaba me ba je me ba che ba me ba da me ba wa me ba ro me ba ta de do me dun je me zhe ba ne je je den ba zo ba san je ma nan je dam ba de la jan zar do zhen je za ba la ma je je ko zon do je sin lam da 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 ge ju lam pe de da ge den ba dan sun je je don la po jen ro pra sin je la do zo Taishidele, the Dharma brothers and sisters. Today our teaching is part. Last week we began the third chapter, which is called Relying on the Dharma Master. Actually, Gamboba divides his treatise into 6 points, 6 main topics. I mean, this jewel ornament. So first, the prime cause for attaining highest awakening, the Buddha nature. Second, the corporal ground for achieving awakening, the precious human existence. We already discussed on them. And then third, the contributing condition that impels one to achieve it, the Dharma master. So the the first one, prime cause for attaining highest awakening, the Buddha nature. This part is extremely important. We are practicing because for realizing that. So, what is the benefit to realize Buddha nature? We can we can liberate from temporary suffering and obscurations and disease and all the problems. So we don't like them. Uh, right now, we drink a cup of tea or we step one step forward. All of them are for the sake of happiness. Our Dharma practitioners practice Dharma is for the sake of happiness, and then people sell something and buy something and doing something. Everything is for the sake of happiness. But then, who will gain the inherent happiness? Then the Dharma practitioners will gain inherent happiness because Dharma practitioners will recognize the Buddha nature. So then here in the third, we say the contributing condition that impels one to achieve it, the Dharma master. So Dharma master, why Dharma masters are important? Externally, they are like a guide, and they help us to understand the our Buddha nature. But internally, Buddha nature is Dharma master. So when we discuss about Dharma master, of course, we bring examples and we explain about this on the Dharma master, which we see somewhere they are separate from us, but in the reality, you should think that introduce Dharma master means it's introduce your mind. So your mind is your paramodure wisdom is Dharma master, because your paramodure wisdom remove ignorance, self-grasping, and all the sufferings. Your intrinsic awareness is like the sunlight. So then it removes all the darkness of problems and sufferings. But now we don't know how to utilize it to remove. So that's where the externally Dharma master, those masters are very important, helpful. So then I will read the root of this, and then we will go continuously. So rely on Dharma masters is treated through 5 points: justification, the different kinds, the specific characteristics of each kind, how to rely, and its benefits. So Dharma master in Tibetan is Ge Vihini. So Ge actually Geva, this is a virtue, but right now we use Geve because Geve is a preposition instead of in English of, and yeah, so on. So give means right now we can understand virtue. Then she means be loved and intimate. Nin, so nin means actually one word for relative. So relative means people who have genetic relationship. So here, Dharma master are disciples' relative, but they don't have a blood relationship, but they have a special relationship through samaya and good karma and bodhicitta. However, we call the Dharma masters. Nin means nin because we have problems, and they will help unconditionally, just like our relatives support us when we face problems. The Dharma masters support us unconditionally because they possess 10 qualities. The first quality is discipline, which is like the bit and reins of a horse. Their mind and our minds are like a wild horse. So with the bit and the reins, their and our wild horse of mind is tamed. Then they train in attentiveness and mindfulness, samadhi, and it pacifies their mind and our minds. Their dharma wisdom is like brightness. It conquers their ignorance and our ignorance. They have more dharma knowledge than their disciples, so their knowledge can greatly benefit their disciples. They have great diligence. They are always enthusiastic about helping others. They are rich because they read and listen to the tantaras and sutaras. Through the power of their listening, reflecting, and meditating, realize the essence of phenomena. They are skillful in teaching according to the level of their disciples, and they do not relate to the outwardly concerning, but compassionately give teachings and help others. They are compassionate. They often teach without getting tired, so they have perfect patience. These are the general qualities of Dharma masters. When I introduce these to you, perhaps you suddenly image someone in your mind, and this person does not have these qualities. Actually, it is quite hard to judge others' qualities, especially other people's mind. Uh, uh, these 10 qualities are qualities of mind. It's possible some Dharma masters possess these qualities in full, and some possess part of each of them. However, while these are mentioned as Dharma masters' qualities, sooner or later, these qualities will grow in disciples' mind. It is only a matter of time. So if you find this kind of spiritual master, then you will become the same as them. For example, a baby bird will grow into a bird. A baby yak will become a yak. Generally, for each situation, there is a driving force. For example, if we travel on an airplane, the pilot is important. If we go to a restaurant, the cook is important. If we go to school, the teacher is important. So, for practicing the Dharma, for liberation, the spiritual master is extremely important. In this world, there are many amazing things, skillful beings, and powerful beings, beautiful beings. But only the spiritual masters can lead us into nirvana. Spiritual masters are like eyes for seeing. It is almost natural. So the spiritual master is important if we are physically powerful, strong like in rhinoceros. We cannot use that physical power to attain nirvana. And then, if we have physical skill like a monkey who can jump and climb, that too cannot get us to nirvana. If we are fast like a leopard, we cannot reach nirvana instantaneously. But through the guidance of a spiritual master, they have a special method which is only directed towards attaining nirvana and liberating from suffering. So it says in the verse summary of the perfection of wisdom, good disciples devoted to their teachers should always rely on wise and skillful Dharma masters. Why? Because from these will emerge the qualities of the ways. So, what kind of qualities of wisdom does the spiritual master need? In the relative truth, the Dharma master should know the relationship between cause and karma cause and effect, and should have the wisdom to explain this. On the ultimate level, Dharma master should know the ultimate truth and skillfully help disciples to know it through path instructions. Especially, he or she should be able to communicate these two truths through the warmth of the heart, which is bodhicitta and compassion. And how we should follow this kind of master is we should think of ourselves as travelers in a strange land. If we have no guide, then we cannot find our way. During Dharma practice, for example, if you study Dharma as well as reading scriptures and engaging in debate and meditation, you need a guide for all these. If you do retreat, then also you need a guide. The book has already expounded the first example, which was the guide in unfamiliar land, and explain the consequence of not having one. If we discuss it another way, without the Dharma master, we will find it quite hard to practice the preliminary, main and concluding parts of practice. If we do the main practice very well, but without the preliminaries, like generating bodhicitta, then this practice is like ornamental flowers without nectar. Then if we generate bodhicitta and we practice well, the main practice, if we do not dedicate, then it's like looking precious thing, locking precious thing in a house where no one can use them. We cannot say that kind of cultivation of practice is useless, but the fruit of this practice is difficult to utilize by oneself and others. Even if one tries to dedicate one's practice, if one dedicates it mistakenly, then this virtue will not be cause of enlightenment. It will only be a cause of something positive in this life, especially if we cultivate merit with a very hard work. If we don't dedicate it, there will be no fruition. The dangerous thing is if one dedicates it for harming others, then through the path of virtue, one can expect only suffering. So this is punishing yourself. So a Dharma master can help you avoid all these mistakes and have the result you wish to cultivate. In brief, there are 10 Dharma activities. All of them are related to the Dharma master. Especially through these activities, we will accumulate great merit if we do them with a pure motivation. The 10 Dharma activities are reading Dharma scriptures, offering praises, practicing generosity, speaking Dharma words, for example, and other material things through compassion, listen to the Dharma for the welfare of other beings, memorizing the meaning of Dharma or Dharma words, reading Dharma books, giving teachings, reciting samadhis, reflecting on Dharma and meditating on Dharma. Buddha said they all inconceivable merit. So we engage them through the kindness of Dharma masters. And also we need to have the the perception that we are in a horrible place, and the Dharma master is like in Escort who protects us. And also we need the perception that Dharma masters are like the uh, ferrymen who take us across the river. If we don't have a captain or ferryman, perhaps we will just drift in the ocean of samsara, or perhaps the boat will sink in the river. Uh, okay, so then now you look at the page. I will read the book. So page 38. If you have this book, I will read continuously from last week. Okay. The second example is that of the escort. In dreaded places, there are harmful things such as what's that? Bandits, thieves, wild animals, and the like. Going to such places without an escort is dangerous for possessions, for physically safety, and even for life itself. In brief, during our practice, there can occur hindrances, or we can take the wrong path. Without a guide, it's very possible that these overpower our practice. For example, if you are only a practitioner of samadhi, then you meditate. If you are a little accomplished in the practice, then you experience happiness, and you will become attached to it and have a craving for it. When you experience clarity, then you will fixate on it. If you have the experience of non-perception, you will hold it as paramount. When you reach these levels, you will have these kinds of obstacles. Only a Dharma master can address these kinds of problems. Then if you practice Mahamudara, even if you gain clarity, bliss, and non-perception, how you experience them is different. Sometimes the experience can be very coarse. So why it is that way, and how to change it? For that, you need to rely on your Dharma master. In Dzogchen, Dzogpa Chenpo, they mention three kinds of hindrances of fruition. So when you meditate on the exhaustion of phenomena beyond precepts, beyond concepts, which means all phenomena and mind dissolve into the Dharma Dhatu, and you feel complete emptiness. We call it Dharma beings exhausted. For example, these practitioners seems to be feelingless, and so on. And also, there are hindrances of conduct. There is a secret action for some yogis, and some yogic discipline seems very crazy. And when engaging in it, some can go overboard. But for a real yogi, their discipline when it comes to karma, cause and effect, should be greater than ours. And their clarity of mind should be more clear than ours. Only a Dharma master can guide them in becoming a real yogi. Mm, Okay, so then continues to read. When accompanied by a powerful escort, however, we pass through without uh, mishap. Similarly, we taught our Dharma master to act as an escort on the path to enlightenment, acquiring spiritual wealth, and heeding for the citadel of omniscience. We risk having our wealth of virtue plundered by the band of thieves that consists of ideas and mental afflictions, within and harmful force, and misleading influences without. There is even the risk of our life in the uh, happier realms being cut short. Therefore, it is said, as soon as that gang of robbers and thieves, the afflictions find the opportunity, they will steal virtue and put in an end to life in the higher states. These ordinary thoughts, like old clothes, we remove them and wear new clothes. There are 84,000 afflictive emotions. Their root is grasping. The root of grasping is ignorance. Ignorance is the cause of samsara. Samsara is like waves of the ocean. We are like boats in these waves. Without a captain, if we are non living beings, then it doesn't matter how much the waves of the ocean shake us. But we are living beings. We have a feeling when we experience happiness. We like it. When we experience suffering, we cannot be patient. Even a single thorn breaking the tip of a finger is hard to bear. Even invisible things like harsh words can break our heart. Then, of course, we cannot be patient with the suffering of sickness and death. Especially, we cannot accept the suffering of the lower realms. Even now, we cannot imagine take others' suffering and giving away our happiness. These emotional beings that we are need a method to escape suffering. So this method is in the hands of Dharma masters. Especially we like happiness, and for the sake of happiness, we can steal others' things. We can kill other beings. We can lie to uh, satisfy our selfish aims. So this is the proof that we need happiness. But looking for happiness in this way is like making a hammer to beat your own head. So now if we want to liberate ourselves from suffering, we should conquer the 84,000 maras of the uh, uh, sutaras. First, we should know them, and then we apply the method of the antidote. Then we have to utilize the antidote head on, and we only get these methods from Dharma Master. We cannot buy these methods anywhere. We cannot even get them from the Buddha directly. We can only get them from Dharma masters. For example, if you are learning English, you must follow an English teacher. If you just supplicate the Buddha to learn English without following an English teacher, then you won't be able to learn English. So this is the nature of interdependence. We are daisy with samsara because we did not know the cause of suffering. But we experience suffering. When we experience suffering, we are impatient with it. And we try to run away from it. And we utilize different methods. But all these methods become cause of suffering. It's like having a snake in one's room, and one very much fears snakes and so tries to get rid of it, but one does not know how to catch a snake. If you unskillfully try to catch a snake, you can make it angry, and then it beats you. Likewise, without training from a Dharma master, then we will not be able to be liberated from suffering. In this world, a very important and very precious gift is wisdom in union with loving kindness or bodhicitta. This gift is something we receive from the Dharma master. Our parents are extremely important, but they cannot give this gift. Of course, they can give us a wonderful gift, which is our precious human life. But this human life is not the real source of Buddhahood. But the union of wisdom and bodhicitta is the real source of Buddhahood. In brief, Dharma masters make you instantaneously Buddha, and Dharma masters help you to remove the darkness of eons of ignorance. And temporarily, a peaceful mind and harmonious family and the unity of the world, they all come from the instructions of the Dharma master. If we put their instructions into practice, if we think of only this life, there is a special gift that everybody can get, no matter whether they are enemies or friends, blind or deaf, old or young. Everyone can equally get that gift, which is loving kindness. Then there is a special feeling that can believe that all beings are one's mother, which is compassion. There is a special mirror, which is wisdom, that can transform suffering into happiness and samsara into nirvana. These and other pearlies things are in the treasury of Dharma Master's mind. Dharma Master's minds. The instructions of a spiritual master can transform a dying person's mind so that they die happily. Poor people are made rich through training in contentment. So, if Dharma masters are magicians, then they are very unique magicians. So, we shouldn't judge and differentiate between Dharma masters. We are not only explaining the qualities of an individual, but the qualities of Dharma masters. And those qualities everybody can possess. So we should be happy with these qualities and run to achieve them. Okay. Then we will read continuously. Never straying from the Dharma Master who is like in Escort, the wealth of virtue. Virtue will not be lost. Existence as a being in the higher realms will not be cut short, and the citadel of omniscience will be attained. Therefore, it says in the instructions for liberation of Shri Sambhava, all the merit of a Bodhisattva is protected by the Dharma Master. One also reads in the instructions for liberation of Upasaka Achala. Good Dharma Masters are like in Escort because they ensure our safe passage to the state of omniscience. The third example is that of a ferryman crossing a mighty river. You may be securely aboard the boat. But if there is no ferryman, you cannot reach the other shore, and the boat may sink or be swept away by the currents. With a ferryman and through his striving, however, the other shore will be reached. Likewise, when trying to traverse the ocean of samsara, without Dharma masters who are like ferrymen, you may well be aboard the ship of Dharma, yet down in samsara or be carried off by its currents. Thus it is said, when there is no oarsman, the vessel will not reach the other shore. Even if one may be accomplished in all, yet without a master, existence will be endless. Straying on board with the ferryman like Dharma Master, Nirvana, the dry line of the far shore of samsara, will be attained. Therefore, it says in the marvelous Arya Sutara, delivering us from the ocean of samsara. The Dharma Master is like a ferryman. Thus, one really needs to rely on Dharma Master, who are like guides, escorts of ferrymen. The second point examining is the different kinds of Dharma Master. There are 4. 1. The Dharma Master is a specific individual. Second, the Dharma Master is a Bodhisattva who has attained the level Bhumi. Third, the Dharma Master is in emanation body, Nirmanakaya of a Buddha. Fourth, the Dharma Master is in enjoyment body, Sambhogakaya of a Buddha. These correspond to the personal situation, since one is totally unable to rely on Buddhas or Bodhisattvas, while still a beginner in the Dharma. A Dharma Master in the form of a specific individual is relied upon. When one is beginning in Dharma, one cannot see the Buddha and Bodhisattvas directly and cannot communicate with them directly. Even if one sees Bodhisattvas directly, one cannot believe that they are Bodhisattvas or Buddhas. So we need to follow a human Dharma Master because one can speak with them face to face and can ask again if one doesn't understand. And we spend more time with them and can even deceive them. In order to learn Dharma, we invite them different places and feed them some simple food, and we can learn a lot of things from them. So this kind of deception is sweet. Like brown sugar, it will cause less harm. If one can perceive the Dharma Master as a Buddha or Bodhisattva, that would be great. If one cannot perceive them that way, but one has enthusiasm to hear the path instructions for freedom from suffering, then that would be great. So one can ask a plethora of questions. Through these, one can become a Dharma Master. Then when most of the action-related obscurations have been purified, one is able to rely on a Dharma Master who is Bodhisattva on the level. Why can you rely on Bodhisattva Dharma Masters? This is related to the Dharma Master's action and your responsibility both. So these Bodhisattva Dharma Master fulfill different activities to time beings and fulfill their needs. So they will act in a way that you will understand, that are suitable for you. If they display various miraculous powers, it will be in a way that you can see. Sometimes they dedicate their greatest, most valuable thing for the sake of others. and you can respect this and follow it. So there is an example of Bodhisattva's activity. There was a prince, Demigundin. He was a Bodhisattva. In his father's kingdom, there was a special wish fulfilling jewel, and he gave it away to a beggar who asked him for it. His father, the king, could not accept this, so he punished him. He punished him for 12 years to a very dangerous place. On the way, beggars asked him for his eyes, and he unhesitatingly dedicated them. His wife, the princess, completely supported and followed him. And also, in Buddha's previous life, he went to a forest and came across a hungry mother tigress. She was very hungry, almost starving, and she had cubs who still tried to get milk from her, but she did not eat them. Then Buddha, in this lifetime, felt extreme compassion and generously offered his body to the mother tiger. At first, she could not eat, but the Buddha brought a sharp stone and cut himself with it and dedicated his body. So Bodhisattvas have this kind of courage for the welfare of even a single sentient being. Also, there are many life stories. Buddha he took rebirth. Actually, countless, but we able to count the 1,000 which Buddha mentioned, because we can imagine those parts. So 500 fortunate life and 500 unfortunate lives. So sometimes a rabbit, Buddha take rebirth in a rabbit's life, and then the rabbit, and sometimes Buddha took rebirth the life of birds. So then this rabbit and the birds, they speak with people, with practitioners. So now we maybe I cannot judge your level, but it's quite hard to speak with a rabbit and the birds. I mean, like human to human. But when Buddha took rebirth, the life of rabbits and birds, they spoke. So, but these life stories remain in Buddha's sutaras. So I bring these life stories and share it with you. How much you trust? How much you trust? So if you are more trust in there, then that means your the wisdom level is more increasing. So then you can follow Dharma master of Bodhisattvas who show like these miracle powers. If we cannot believe that how rabbit will speak through human language and so forth, then so here says it's quite hard to follow the Dharma master of Bodhisattva or Buddhas or so forth. The main reason is that sometimes they show different actions for the sake of other beings, then we cannot image it. So then we cannot trust in it and so forth. Yeah. In brief, Bodhisattvas will never engage non-virtues. But if they have to, for the sake of others, then they do, but they trust karma. So this karmic cause will draw them to the lower realms, but they accept this for the sake of other beings. Then in this text it says action-related obscurations. These are the 5 inexpiables. Actually, there are 3 obscurations. One is afflictive emotions. Another is the inexpiable deeds. And the last are cognitive obscurations. Okay. Right. From the topmost stage of the path of accumulation onward, one can rely on a Dharma master in the Nirmanakaya form of Buddha. Okay. The path of accumulation has 3 divisions: the lower, middling, and higher. Actually, the path of accumulation consists of accumulating merit. The path of accumulation is the first of the 5 paths that lead to Buddhahood. On the lower path of accumulation, the main focus is on the 4 objects of mindfulness. The first of these is mindfulness of a body. Second is mindfulness of feeling. Third is mindfulness of mind. And fourth is mindfulness of phenomena. The middling path of accumulation consists of practicing the 4 right exertions. This means first immediately stopping non-virtues when they occur, and second having trained in mindfulness in the lower path of accumulation, so that before one engages in non-virtues, one is able to avoid them. And then third, cultivating virtue, and fourth, developing and increasing virtue. Then the highest part of the path of accumulation consists of practicing the 4 bases of miraculous powers. Miraculous powers. The first of these is the samadhi of intention, which is combined with diligence. Second is the samadhi of exertion. This exertion is such that the practitioner's diligence is greater than Sharavikas and practical Buddhas. Third is the stage of miraculous ability, which combines the training in the contemplation of secretly. Practitioners at this level immediately recognize the essence of the object they focus on. The fourth is the contemplation of the mind. Practitioners at the stage have a special samadhi. This is a samadhi beyond the level of Charavikas and practical Buddhas. In brief, these 4 miracle samadhis immediately purify the 5 faults of meditation. The 5 faults are laziness. So laziness means, laziness has 3 classifications, okay? Don't be lethargic. One is, I can't do. So insult oneself. I can't practice. I cannot become Buddhahood. I cannot practice dharmas, and I cannot help others. These are first laziness. Second laziness is we think, okay, I like to practice, so I will do it tomorrow. But then tomorrow you think, okay, I will do afternoon. When afternoon, you think I will do it day after tomorrow, or next week, or next month, or next year. But time flies. So time never waits us. So this laziness is very, how to say, this is the second laziness. Third is, for example, you meditate. When you meditate, and then you think, oh, I'm going to read a book. When you read a book, Dharma teachings or something, or I'm going to talk with someone, something like that. However, the practices are not important for you. So this is also including laziness. So especially in this case, laziness means when you meditate, then you apply mindfulness of body, which means you watch at your body, the actions, and then but you hear different sound from outside, and then your mind scattered. So yeah, they're like that. When your mind has many distracted, then you cannot focus. And also when you meditate on mindfulness of feeling, first you know what is the feeling occurs to you, and if the feeling of happiness, you just watch it and relax on there, but you cannot remain there longer, something like that. And the second is the among the 5 faults of meditation, forgetting instructions. So we mentioned the spiritual masters are important. The reason is that their path instructions are important. But then perhaps you think, one thinks, okay, then if path instructions are important, they exist in the book. So then spiritual masters are not important. But this is also not correct. Of course, in the book it has a lot, but when you read, you understand something, but spiritual masters understand very deep, and it is special. And also when you connect with the spiritual masters, then your feeling and spiritual master's feeling have special connection. And then you arise faith, and the spiritual masters has a blessing, they connect it, and then on your body, goosebumps will arise. Goosebumps will arise. These kind of goosebumps, the feeling or experience is inconceivable, because in Longjiktin Sunggun mentioned this is a special path. Longjiktin Sunggun particularly, especially explain on there. So this is a very, very particular path, because through this way you can avoid samsara, and instantaneously you can attain Vajradhara hood. So path instructions are very important. So we should not forget it. And then the third of the 5 folds of meditation is agitation. Agitation destroys us a lot, because we eat gross food. It is related. It also cause of agitation, and also this our realm. This is a desire realm. The formless realm, they have no more agitation. Almost the formless realm, they don't have agitation. The subtle agitation, they have subtle agitation, but not gross agitation. And then formless and form realms, they also have a little bit agitated, but agitation, but no more. But we have a lot. We have so much agitation, because we have gross thoughts. Then dullness. Of course, we have dullness. When we are ready to meditate, fall asleep. When we are ready to practice, we get tired. So all of them are related, dullness. So this applying antidotes unnecessarily when samadhi is clear and certain, and not applying antidotes when distractions arise. So these are purified immediately through the 4 miracles samadhis. There is a lot more to say about this, but we can go into it another time. It will come in later sessions. So this, when we learn new language, for instance, English, we start from E, B, C, D. Only we can say E, B, C, D. It does not enough. We should learn pronounce. We learn pronunciation. It does not enough. We learn the how to make sentences. Only we can make sentences. It does not enough. We have to understand books. However, we need to gain listening power, speaking power, reading power, and understanding power. So 50-60% is in our related ourselves, but 40% related our teachers. Yeah, same. So spiritual masters are very important to gain the realization of the our Buddha nature. And then, okay. Once the Bodhisattva level are attained, it is possible to rely on a Dharma master in the Sambhogakaya form of Buddha. Yeah. Actually, once Dharma brothers and sisters, they all can be Bodhisattvas, possessing the 5 certainties of the Sambhogakaya. The first certainty is the major and minor marks. It's about physical. But let you know all of them are related karma cause and effect. Okay, karma cause and effect. If you are not accumulate cause of them, these are not occur. These major and minor marks will not occur in our lives. So then, if they are related on karma cause and effect, then how to cultivate? We should know how to cultivate virtues and how to avoid non-virtues. Even we become very good practitioners, still we should know how to visualize, how to meditate, how to generate compassion. So in the Gamboba said, if you were not practice Dharma as Dharma path, then it will cause of lower realms. So which means if we, in the higher way, we, for example, if we have gained some experiences, if we fixated on there, then we are remain in the samsara. Because this fixation never release us. This fixation hold us. The second certainty is that of a place, the Aganishita pure realm. The third certainty is that of Dharma, which is the teachings of the Mahayana. The fourth is that of time, which is that the Sambhogakaya will remain until samsara is emptied for the benefit of others. The fifth certainty is that of disciples who are bodhisattvas. So when one attains the highest bhumis, at that time one becomes a bodhisattva, so one becomes the disciple of Sambhogakaya. Which of these four types is kindest to us? Which of these four types is kindest to us? At the outside, or when still in the dark path of action and affliction, were we to try to rely on Dharma masters of the three latter types, we would not even be capable of seeing their face. It is only due to our path being illuminated by the lamp held aloft by teachers who are specific individuals that we will eventually encounter them. Therefore, masters in the form of specific individuals are the kindest. So this ordinary being, right now we can see the ordinary beings. So they're real, especially in this time. People have more. People's wisdom. People has more mundane wisdoms. People utilize mundane wisdoms. So that's where, if we mentioned about these other Sambhogakaya, Dharmakaya, sometimes these are related through the higher practice. So nowadays, many friends, they need proof and they need to show manifestly. So that's where this ordinary, as it says, the specific individual are master in the form of specific individuals are the kindest. So uh, this is a very uh, true for us. As this book mentioned, we are quite hard to uh, directly communicate with the Buddha and the Bodhisattvas and the Yidams, so forth. If we can, it's only sometimes, but we can speak with um, mm, uh, ordinary masters directly. So they help us to open the eyes which sees the relation of karma cause and the effect. And even as I mentioned earlier, through their path instructions, poor people transform into rich, which means if someone has something, they are satisfied with these things, and then uh, and contentment with this, so then they are always happy. Even they are in the samsara, but they are happy. So why we are more collected these things, material things, for the sake of happiness, right? And also another way is these Dharma masters help us to cultivate merit. So uh, merit is actually the power of virtues. So that's where if we have great merit, we accomplish all of our uh, goals, uh, accomplish successfully. So these spiritual masters help us how to cultivate merit and how to keep harmonies and relationships, and even sometimes if we have many friends, relatives, and siblings, but they are also would like to help us, but sometimes there is no way to help us at that time. It's very much related inside inner situation. That's where through these masters path instructions, we can solve our problems by ourselves. So people, uh, when people are suffering, uh, this is a really how to say, a very difficult situation. If one suffering for 1 hour and one being happy for 1 day, uh, so when you are happy whole day, you feel that that day is so short. But if you are suffering for 1 hour, that hour is so long. Why that happens? Because when you are suffering, this suffering bring all of your attention together. When you have temporary happiness, your mind is scattered. That's where you cannot feel how uh, goes the day and time and hours. So uh, uh, in this degenerated time, we have different obstacles, different problems, as well as different disease and wars and so forth. So, of course, we all try to solve all the problems, but the inner problem we should solve. through our wisdom. So then how to solve through our wisdom is first we should gain or arise wisdom. It's very hard to arise this wisdom from our mind. That's why you should cultivate merit. When you cultivate merit, don't focus suddenly don't focus some result. Don't expect some result, okay? Many practitioners, they happen that they suddenly they do very good things, but suddenly expect result. And then if there is no result occur the result, then they give up or complain or then stop or so forth. So Dharma, especially Dharma practitioners, should focus more cause, not result. Because Buddha, he also gone through this path, gone through these paths. Our habits is when we have suffering, when we are suffering, we cannot tolerance, cannot be patient with that. But that suffering is a result of cause. We don't focus why this suffering, why did that occurs, how, and when we make their cause, made this cause, we did not pay attention. This is our little misunderstanding. In other hand, we believe karma, cause and effect. We say we believe in karma, we believe in karma. But the result of suffering occurs in mind, then it's unbelievable why it comes. Why does it comes? So that's where already we cultivate it. Virtues and non-virtue both. We cultivated virtues. That's where right now we became Dharma practitioners. So that's where we say we have precious human life. Why it is precious? Because we can generate loving kindness, bodhicitta. We can practice others before self. We can reduce self-grasping. We can bring others suffering and we can give one's happiness. So however, we can attain Buddhahood in this life if we do the practice. So, but in other hand, we cultivated lots of non-virtues since beginningless time. So still we are in samsara. There are thousands of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They all same, journeying through the paths. They practice the Sutrayana and the Mantarayana, and they conquer the maras of afflictive emotions and purifies the obscurations of cognitive obscurations, ignorance, and so forth. So now we are on the middle path. We continuously remain in the samsara, or we instantaneously attain Buddhahood. Now it is the right time to decide. It is the right time to decide. If we decide it, we can. Since from today, if you would like to become Buddha, you can. If you like to become Bodhisattva, you can. Because we have all these facilities. We have all of these facilities. We have all of these golden opportunities. So, this, but instantaneously become enlightenment is not so easy if we are not stop to cultivate non-virtues. if we do not purify non-virtues in previous life, what we did. If we are not be mindfulness on this present moment, so in the Ayatara practice, it says, mindfulness, Mother God, please protect us. So mindfulness, Mother God, is inside of our mind. When we apply mindfulness with paramodure wisdom, with compassion, and from there radiate lights. From there, Tara will appears to us. Then Tara protect to us. So that's why Buddha said, you are your own protector. That means your real protector is inside. But if spiritual master did not or does not or do not introduce us, we don't know. It's like underneath our poor family, there's precious precious treasure, very precious things, diamonds or so forth. But they don't know it. But they have, even they don't have eat and drink. They travel village to asking food. Sometimes they get only lunch. Sometimes whole day they did not get anything. It's same. So spiritual masters are important. When I also try to explain a little bit on there, but mainly I bring this book. I read this book. It says, Gampopa said that. So it does not mean politically some spiritual masters make us very special. So I'm not great practitioners, but I believe, I trust to respect to spiritual masters and listen their path instructions. I will find spiritual masters from inside of my mind. I will find that I can trust. So we all think, actually you will not misunderstand, because you have a great spiritual wisdom, so you already know and you are knowing all of about these things. But if you already know or you are knowing this, I will remind you. If you don't know before, let you know it. At least don't forget. So I'm talking something through to your ears, so then you can emphasize consistently on there. Okay. And then the third point concerns the specific characteristics of each of these four kinds of Dharma masters. Okay, let me say first, without these ordinary Dharma masters, for example, Shakyamuni Buddha, who came in this world 2600 years ago, so we have a long distance between his century and our century. So after these Nalinda masters, as well as Nagarjuna and Ayadeva and so forth, as well as the Mahasiddhas, Saraha and Telopa, Naropa, these scriptures not exist in front of us. Buddha's scriptures are not exist in front of us. So how can we learn? Even with, according to our Kaju lineage, Marpa, he spent his life, his wealth. Even he dedicated his families, his wife and child live in Tibet. He did not show whether he can return or not, but he went undertaking hardship for the sake of Dharma. And he brought many gold. In the and when he came back, he brought only a simple book. Simple book means at that moment they don't have more papers. They wrote on the letters on the leaves of tree. So at that moment, Dharmandode Marpa's son, he not completely awareness, so he mentioned that. My father went to the India, but he brought lots of with him lot of gold, and when he came back, only bring a book. Other people, merchants, they went to India. No more brought things, but when they come back, they bring lots of precious things. That's it. He said that. But if you like to research how much Tibetan these Dharma masters spend gold for the sake of Dharma, some historical mention is very clearly. So then you focus there. So gold is gold, but I mean the main thing is they really even Marpa, he has a family and he has everything, house and everything, but he went to India for many times. So he stayed there many years. So then the Gambopa actually, he already a great scholar. He is a Kadam master. He already gained many part of realizations. He already gained. If he just keep prayed and he thought, oh, this is the final, this is important, then he will not follow. He did not follow Milarepa, but he went to the Milarepa and he spent time with Milarepa, and he so always he mentioned Milarepa's qualities, Milarepa's how to say, powers or abilities and kindness. So they know this how important these spiritual masters. So we should learn from them, their life stories. And right now we have real examples. His Eminence Garchin Rinpoche and then wonderful masters. We have the examples and you are trust in them. So then how much they can benefit. Sometimes you should review. You means we, I'm sorry, we should review how much they help us to gain the behavior, characteristic or character, and the experiences, realizations, Dharma knowledge, and then we are so grateful to them. Otherwise, in other hand, we think, oh, there are lots of Dharma masters. Everybody says blah 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 blah. So we can learn, we can do something. If we think like that, then there are just we keeps many books, thousands of books in front of us, and then if we don't do, it's fun, it's okay, but it does not enough. Really, it does not enough. So we all should try to gain some realizations. Why should we gain realization? Because we are suffering. But you say you are suffering, yeah? I say I'm suffering. But I did not see no one looking forward. Where is the suffering? I need a suffering. Please, spiritual masters, can you share our suffering? No one tell me that. Even I did not tell to my masters. But what we ask them, how to remove the suffering? I'm headache, I'm hurt my back, I have some problem, how to remove? So that's where then, which means we do not need these sufferings. And really we try to at least we discuss each other's, we discuss each other's how to remove the sufferings, especially the cause of suffering. Sometimes these spiritual Dharma masters cannot remove your suffering directly, which means actually you should exhaust your cause of that. If you have a water tank, you pull a lot of water. Is in other cases, if that's the water tank, a break or some head hole and the water goes through this way. If we try to bring back this water on the dirt into the rock, it is not a good idea. But we try to go to the water tank and remove the hole and fix the breaking. That is what we can do, yeah? Same like that. We have to be careful to cultivate the non-virtue, and we should trust. That this trust is also special. Oh, today I have some problem. But this is my karma. So then you have this understanding. Psychologically, you can reduce the feeling of suffering. So the power of trust in karma. So we trust. Actually, we discuss more on the karma the next chapters. It particularly we have that. But trust karma means we should go in details. If your plants are flower, okay, seed, water, sun, dirt, time, your hand be very soft hand. It need lot, yeah. Same. So we are, since we have grasping, we have a karma. So we have we have a karma. So but we can cultivate good karma. We can remove negative karma, right? And then where is okay, Buddha's the third point concerns the specific characteristics of each of these four kinds of Dharma masters. Buddhas embody the highest, most complete form of purification because they have eliminated Buddha source of obscuration. They also embody the highest, most complete form of pristine awareness because they possess the two forms of knowledge. The two forms of knowledge are the wisdom that knows the nature of things and the wisdom that sees the extent of knowledge. The second sees on the ultimate level karma, cause and effect, and disciples and all beings, minds, previous lives and future rebirths, or even the numbers of animals, grows and subtle cause and effect, and natural interdependence. Then the wisdom that knows the nature of things and understanding emptiness and non-duality. Interdependence, when we try to recognize karma cause and effect, we should come through with the interdependence. And we come through with the path of interdependence, what we understand? We understand emptiness. And we understand emptiness, authentic emptiness. If we were able to understand real emptiness, what happened? We will more trust in karma cause and effect. When we more trust in karma cause and effect, what happened? we will be careful. So in this world, we say 7 billion of people. If everybody take care, come to the rules and regulations of karma, cause and effect, we can avoid majority sufferings. In this world, many sufferings occurs, kind of damage environment externally. Internally, living beings have lots of problems. All of them are related. As we break karma, law of karma. So, but we will not angry all of these human beings. Then what should you do? We generate compassion. But only generate compassion, it does not enough. It's like some parents, they are very greatly generate compassion to their children, and then their children, if they spoil their children, it is not smart. And some parents, they are real have great compassion to their children. At the same time, they give more opportunity to studying and good behavior and so forth. Same like we are the parents. We often say we are Mahayana practitioners. Maha means great mind. Ma means probably we are mother of all beings. Actually, we say benefit all mothers and human beings. Liberate all mothers and human beings. Actually, all children and human beings. It's kind of all children and human beings because we are all mothers. But why we call the mother beings? Because we see these beings, we can generate compassion. The compassion is mother of all Buddhas. So mother means resource, is cause, something. So then where we are? Okay. Then the wisdom that knows the nature of things, understand emptiness and non-duality. Emptiness, non-duality. Sometimes they are same, but related to your understanding, recognition, there has different layers. So in this case, non-duality is highest. The two obscurations are the obscurations of afflictive emotions and cognitive obscurations. Afflictive emotions obscure the relationship between cause and effect and blocks the arising of faith, compassion, bodhicitta, and so on. Because afflictive emotion, jealousy is afflictive emotion. Someone doing very good things, then we jealous it. We start to destroy. We start to block their path. And then same like anger and other greed, and so forth. And especially doubt. We see some the Dharma masters or disciples, they're doing very well, very good meditation. First, we think, oh, very good, but maybe they do it superficially. It's the doubt to destroy our own mind. The authentic practitioners don't care whether whatever you think. They single-pointedly meditate, peacefully remain. So, and then bodhicitta. Main bodhicitta is coming from equality. Equality is very important. Buddha, he gained thousands of samadhis. All samadhis are combined equanimity samadhi. Equanimity is balance is really important. One have small some power, one have small something, share with it equally. One has a little thing, something, make too much discriminated, too much something, this is not it's not good karma, you know. We always should think. We always should think equanimity, but the equanimity directly make peaceful mind to you, to us. Equanimity help us over elements. For example, outer elements, they are being in balance, then there will not occur natural disasters, tsunami, earthquake, and so forth. They will not occur. Why they occurs? Because the unbalance outer elements. Then if our mind is very powerful, strong, if we have too much attachment and aversion through this way, we're doing a lot, then inside our inner elements, they will not balance. Then health is zero. Health is zero. Health is, yeah. So that's where equanimity is really important. We can training equanimity with different ways, with our objects, with the food, with clothes, friends, and then slowly grow, try to seasons, and then slowly grow up, as well as enemies and friends, and then slowly develop it, oneself and others, and then slowly grow up that, more developed, suffering and happiness. So in the 4 yogas of Mahamudra, one test has also different layers. All the layers are related to karma, cause and effect. That's where we should trust in karma, cause and effect. But the one test, it's a very high level. But one test comes from equanimity. So we should learn equanimity. Suddenly we cannot become a very good practitioner on there, but we should try. We should try. First, we should try on it, and then slowly, step by step, we how to say, develop that. Okay, and then the afflictive emotions destroy to grow compassion, bodhicitta, and so forth. They are scientifically we know. Yeah, when our anger arises, then there's no way to stay over compassion and bodhicitta, because there's two attentions. There are two attentions. All the Buddha's teaching mentioned, Lord Jigten Sungkung mentioned, two attentions while not being together at the same time. So when angry emotion arises, at the same time we cannot the compassion, the loving kindness arise at the same time. Yeah. So, for example, when okay, then through ignorance we were not able to see the kindness of the 3 jewels, and will not be able to see the relationship of karma, cause and effect. Afflictive emotions are chains which bind us to the pillar of samsara. So first we should purify afflictive emotion. So these are pretty easy to purify because they manifest in our mind, and we can recognize slightly how they destroy our peaceful mind. Okay. Maybe we should stop here. And I request all of Dharma friends, that please dedicate our merit, the merit of our listening, reflecting, meditating, teaching, and also 10 directions and 3 times of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Let you know when we motivate it, then they will wake up from their samadhi, and then they shared their merit to us, and then it will benefit to all mothers and human beings. Okay. Chancho semjo rembo je ma je ba nam je jur je ba nyam ba me ba yang go ne gong de be war jo.
May bodhicitta, the precious and supreme mind, arise in whom it has not yet arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not decline, but ever increase, higher and higher.
Thank you so much. May Mother Taras protect you all always. Thank you. Have a wonderful time.